Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money, with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 383 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Angela Ohlfest, and her parents couldn't have picked a better name for her because her voice is like an angel, and she is a voiceover artist narrator. And she started, what I like about Angela is that she doesn't let anything stop her. It doesn't matter, she has to have a quiet environment. It doesn't matter if motorcycles are going out past her window or dogs are barking. She's made this happen, and she got out of the dreaded job a long time ago. And we're going to hear her story in a minute. Now, make sure you grab a copy of our automation ebook. We sell this for $27, but it's yours free for listening to the show. Just one of the tips has saved me 7.5 million keystrokes. And we actually figured it out a couple years ago. All these automation techniques that we sell in this book are yours free for listening to the show. Make sure you pick up a copy at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Screwthecommute.com/automate free. And while you're over there, pick up a copy of our podcast app. That's screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. And you know how people give you apps and then you got to figure out how to use them? Well, not with us. We actually give you video and screen captures. And if you still can't figure it out, you can email Larry at antion.com and he will walk you through it to make sure you can take us with you on the road. So how would you like to hear your own voice here on Screw the Commute? Well, if the show's helped you out, helped you with an idea to start a business or helped you with an idea in your business, we want to hear about it. Visit screwthecommute.com. There's a little blue sidebar on the side that says send a voicemail. Talk into your phone or your computer if you have a microphone. Tell us how the show's helped you, and don't forget to leave your website on there because you'll get a big shout out on a future episode of Screw the Commute for thousands of people who hear about you, so don't be shy. All right. Now, everybody's suffering because of this pandemic, but I'm not, and my students aren't, because we know how to sell online. I've been selling online, living this lifestyle for going on 27 years now since the commercial internet started. And then 12 years ago, I decided to try to ruin my own life by starting a school. And I did. And I 3 years of going through red tape to get the school. And so 12 years ago, we have the only licensed, dedicated internet marketing school in the country, probably the world. And we teach hardcore skills that people actually can use in the real world. I get so sick of the 4-year colleges where all they learn how to do is protest, and then they run up big, debt, trillions of dollars of debt with these young people, and then they take their MBA and they go down and compete for jobs at Starbucks. Well, that's not the way it works with me. These hardcore skills are in high demand by every business on earth. Everybody has to have email marketing and websites and blogs and chat bots and shopping carts and all that stuff. And that's what we teach. And we have students making money a few months into the school. So check it out at imtcva.org. And a little later, I'll tell you how you can get a scholarship to the school if you happen to be in my mentor program. We'll tell you about that later. And also, if you are a first responder, military, nurse, there's another group that we give 50% scholarships to thank you for what you do for us to keep us safe so we can do what we do. All right, let's get to the main event. Angela Ohlfest is here. Oh my God, she has 60. That's 60. That's even almost as old as me. A number of books on Audible. And this is only in a couple years because she is, if you see the video over on her channel, she has a great YouTube channel called Voiceover Angela. They should call it Voice of an Angel is what they would call it. So when you see her, she claims she's a gearhead. I don't see any grease on her fingertips or anything, but she's 20 years in the automotive industry. And then she transitioned out of it to be a voiceover artist. And so we are thrilled to have her with us. And she also helps people learn how to be voiceover artists and start their own home-based business. So, Angela, you ready to screw the commute?
Absolutely.
All right. The gear. I'm always afraid to say that to somebody I don't know that well, but a gearhead ought to be able to handle it. So thanks for coming on, Angela.
Thanks for
Oh my
having me.
God. I found you because I was trying to improve my own skills and do my own book narration. And I found you, and wow, your channel is really, really helpful to people. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I started my channel just to, to pay it forward. But when I started my own business, or when I started voiceover as a side hustle back in June of 2018, I'm one of those people that does just tons of research before I do anything. So I scoured the internet for any kind of research, any kind of anything I could find about voiceover and, namely YouTube. And there wasn't a whole lot out there of from women, talking about voiceover. So I thought that once I got the hang of it and I started to do well, I thought I would pay it forward and just share what I had learned as I learn it, with
Well,
other people.
I've learned a ton from your channel, and I really appreciate it
Oh,
because
great.
that's how I found you. But tell us about your journey here. You're a gearhead. You've been in the automotive industry for 20 years, and what made you? How
Yeah.
did you make the transition? What happened that you said, you know what, I'm going to quit dealing with cars and I'm just going to talk, or read is more likely.
Yeah, read. Yeah, being a gearhead, the automotive industry just sucked me right in. Anything to do with cars, I
You
was
said you
pretty much
played with
there.
Hot Wheels as a little girl instead of Barbies.
I did. I was one of those girls that didn't, I would get a Barbie as a gift and I just, take the head off and throw it somewhere. And then the Hot Wheels is what I played with out in the backyard in the mud. That was what I wanted to do. I
Where'd
wanted
you
to
grow
play with
up?
cars. Always have. In California,
Okay.
Southern California. Yeah. So I was outside all the time with my Hot Wheels and it just kind of stuck.
So, but you ended up getting into that industry and working that for over 20 years, right?
Yeah, I started in sales. My God, my first week in the automotive industry, it was 9/11.
Oh my goodness, that's a
So
good.
I know. So like, my very first week of trying to sell cars, no one was really out doing anything. Everyone was kind of, in their homes, not doing anything. So that was kind of rough, but I stuck with it. Then I moved to finance, and then the last 10 years I was on the service side. And then when I left, I was a reconditioning manager. So I was in charge of reconditioning all the used vehicles and prepping the new cars for sale.
Amazing. Now, I'm looking at this Zoom screen, because we're doing a video this time where I'm normally only audio. And are we supposed to be like both, like one on one side of the screen and one on the other?
Um,
I don't know how to do
yeah,
it though.
yeah.
How do you do that? Do you know how to do it?
I think you just maximize your
I
screen.
see you full blast. Do you
Maybe
see
it's
me full blast? I'm little.
no, you and I are sharing
Oh,
a
we are
screen.
sharing the screen? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I'm just seeing you full blast, and I'm like little up there, which is kind of opposite because you're really little and I'm really big in real life. Okay, great. So, you started this as a side hustle, right? How did you even get the idea that, you know what, I think I'm going to read books for a living? Because I guess you're a described book nerd. I heard you say that one time. Uh,
I I am a book nerd.
so what made you
Yeah.
think, oh, gee, I could read these and get paid for it?
Well, I was having lunch one day in my office and reading through MSN or something, and I came across an interview with an audiobook narrator. And I said, "Oh my God, how interesting." I mean, because there are audiobooks, obviously someone has to read them, and I never thought about, my
Right.
me doing that. And I was like, "Oh my God, I read books all the time anyway." And how cool it would be to read them aloud and then get paid for it. So then I did a little research and I said, well, there's also voice acting, which kind of goes hand in hand with it. I said, I'm going to give that a try. And then I absolutely just fell in love with it.
Wow. Now, what kind of books do you read normally for yourself if you weren't narrating?
For myself, I read mostly horror or sci-fi. I'm a big Stephen King and Anne Rice nerd,
Okay.
so
Now,
yeah.
does that make the choice of what books you choose to narrate, or you'll narrate any kind of? It doesn't make any
No,
difference.
no, yeah. I'll read just about any
Okay.
genre.
And speaking of genres, what kind of things are being put on audiobooks nowadays?
Everything you can think of. I have narrated cookbooks.
How do you do
I
that?
I narrate lots of self-help. Yeah,
How do you
cookbooks.
do that? Well, give us an
Yeah.
example of a recipe, how you would narrate a recipe.
Well, you're just reading what's on the page. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a cookbook, but they have, you list out the ingredients and then, the temperature, and then you narrate the steps in which to, how the
Yeah,
recipe is
yeah. You
made or
sit
how the
there and say,
recipe is
"Yes,
done.
Tom, you've seen a cookbook, right?" I have seen a cookbook, but the,
I'm sorry.
but the but the thing is they expect that you know too much in these cookbooks. Like for instance, I found this book one time, and it was how to make low-fat Thousand Island dressing, and you're supposed to put
Eh,
some cottage cheese, put this in a blender, and put some cottage cheese and some ketchup and some relish and all the stuff, okay? But do you think they would
Yeah.
have been kind enough to mention to put the lid on the blender before you turn it on? Honest to God, it shot up to the ceiling, and my lease was up. I figured I'm moving. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. He'll never look up there to see that when I go to get my security deposit back. And then they didn't tell you also, do not lick razor sharp blender blades either. Like,
Oh,
yeah, so
no.
I had a bloody tongue over that. So I just can't imagine what it's
Oh my
like
God.
to. That's what I would be thinking if I was trying to narrate a cookbook. But so anyway, so did you just say, "Okay, boss, I quit, and I'm going to make a fortune doing narration," or was there some transition period?
Um, in February of this year, I mean, my direct managers knew that I did this on the side. And in February of this year, I went to them and I said, I'm finally at that point where I cannot do both. I'm actually losing money with my voiceover business
Coming to
by
work, yeah.
working here. So they understood. I mean, it wasn't like it was a problem with them or a problem with me. It was, they understood. They wished me well, and I had my 2 weeks, and then I left.
Yeah, but you had been doing it for how long though to get to that point?
At that point, about a year
Okay,
and a
so
half.
there was a transition period. You just didn't stop your paycheck and then say, "I'm going to do this with no money coming in," right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
how? What was the beginning like when you got into this business? I mean, you getting how to get jobs and stuff.
I found out that there were, there's about 100 different freelance marketplaces where you can find this type
Wow.
of work. Excuse me. One of them, I'm sure you're familiar with. I think I saw one of your podcasts that was
Yeah,
about
of course.
Fiverr.
Yeah, Fiverr. Yeah. Hmm.
Fiverr, yeah, Fiverr is a big one. Fiverr is where I
The
find a lot
opening
of
to this
work, and then there's
show,
also up.
the voiceover was a Fiverr job.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fiverr, Upwork, and then of course there's ACX, Audible. There's there's tons of them available, and that's where I find most of my work. And of course, it was slow going at first because if you don't have that social proof on your profiles, it's a little difficult to
Right.
have, for customers to feel comfortable with hiring you. So it's a little slow going at first,
Like
but
anything.
once I got going, yeah, it was great.
So is this constant jobs all the time, or is it always audition, get a job?
Every
Every
day.
day you've got a job lined up.
Every day. Every day I have a lot of at this point, I have a lot of repeat clients that hire me, multiple
What
times a
happens
month.
if you get a sore throat?
If I get a sore throat, then I reach out to my clients and I say, "Hey, I have a sore throat. Would you mind if I, took a couple of extra days?" And that's never been a problem.
Only a couple days. See, you're young, you get over things fast.
Oh, I don't know how old you think I
Well,
am,
you
but
you look like you're, I don't know, 12, something like that. Yeah, you
oh,
really do. You look like, yeah. Um, so, um, so I have some specific questions for you because I'm going to pick your brain while I got you
shoot,
on here.
shoot.
I was looking at one of my books and trying to turn it into the script to do the voice, to do the narration, right? And so I get to a
Okay.
point in the book that says, hey, if you do what it says in this ebook, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, they're listening to this. Am I supposed to change that to audio book? And then that messes up my Whisper Sync. Whisper Sync, folks, is where your book matches your audio book matches your ebook on Amazon, and you can switch back and forth between the two. So should I switch and say audiobook or just say book, or what should I do there?
When I am faced with this situation, I just read what's on the manuscript as it's written. But in this particular situation, I think you could say ebook or book. I think either would work because obviously they know that you're narrating
Right,
your
right.
book.
Okay, there you go.
So I think you could
All
get
right,
away with
there.
either and not have, ACX raise a flag.
Okay, good. Now, here's the thing about me. Somebody else wrote the words and you're reading them exactly, right? All right.
Yes,
I
sir.
wrote the words for my books, but I'm a big goofball. So I could be, you mentioned playing with Barbies earlier. So I'm going to give you a sample of how I would tell a Barbie joke in an ebook. And I might laugh for 10
Okay.
seconds on my own. Is that acceptable? Or should that be wiped out? She's laughing now for those of you listening right now. She's like, what a dumb dork this guy is.
No. I adore you. You're so funny.
All right, let me give you my sample, and you say, "Don't do that, Tom. That's just stupid." All right, so
Okay.
I'd be telling a joke in the book. Here it is. Hey, did you hear about the Barbie divorce doll? It came with it came with everything Ken had. And then I'd laugh for 10 seconds because when I speak on stage, I'm laughing with everybody else and having a good time. But should that be cut out in my ebook?
No, I don't think so. I think you could leave the laugh
That won't
in.
mess up Whisper Sync?
No, I've heard authors narrate their own books and they add their own, touch to it. I mean, add your
Well, yeah, I mean,
personality.
that's
Why
the
not?
whole thing of why I would do it myself. But
Right.
I thought, is that going to mess up Whisper Sync? That's what I would.
No,
Okay.
I don't think
All right.
so.
There you go.
No, I think you'd be
All right.
fine.
Now this room tone thing. All right. I'm on a dynamic microphone now because 370 episodes I've done, and I've edited them all myself, but I got so sick with the condenser mic that picks up everything, editing out breaths. And so
Yeah.
that's not breasts, folks, that's breaths.
Breaths.
Yeah.
Breaths.
On breasts, another thing when I try to lose weight, people ask me, how much weight you want to lose, Tom? And I say, I just want to get down to a B cup. That's all. So I switched to a dynamic microphone for the podcast, but when I'm building this booth, I was thinking, okay, you go back to my good condenser mic to get really good quality, but then breaths.
Mhm.
What do you do about breaths? Yeah.
Breaths.
Yeah.
Breaths. Well, to be honest, there's rarely any authors that I've had that wanted me to cut out a complete breath or every single breath. A natural breath, I think, it makes the audiobook sound better, in my opinion. And I think most authors would agree because you're telling a story. It's the breath adds that human touch. I honestly don't think that you need to remove all of your breaths, but if you wanted to, a big breath probably, but natural breaths
Or
I think
just
are good.
reduce
I wouldn't.
the sound of it a little bit, because that's what I do a lot. I don't take everything out because then it goes all the way to zero, and then it sounds weird then.
Right. And there's also, do you have any plugins with your
Well, I
DAW?
have the Waves debreather. Thought I'd try, and then I have an Isotope RX7, but again,
Good
nobody,
stuff.
how do you use them properly is the problem. And then also, I was watching ACX University. ACX, tell them
Yeah.
what ACX is.
ACX is an arm of Amazon. It is where rights holders or authors find narrators and vice versa, and then they create audiobooks
Yeah,
together.
so this is, they also help and teach people. They have videos on how to do stuff, and they have
Yes,
very strict requirements. That's the thing.
they
And
do.
the one engineer was saying, I don't want to see any plugins. I don't want to see any noise gates. I don't want to see any this, that, the other. Just EQ and normalize, and that's and low noise floor. And so, but I
Yes.
saw you putting a bunch of plugins in an EQ rack or in a effects rack, and you're doing pretty
Everybody's
darn
recording
good.
everybody's recording space is different. Maybe some people can get away with just a light EQ and, maybe a little bit of noise reduction, but some other people can't. You have to make your sound right for you, for your voice and your recording space.
Yeah, and so, but that takes some experience to know what is really best. So that's where I guess you ended up getting a
Yeah, it
coach,
takes a
right?
lot. It takes a lot of trial and error. Yeah,
Now, do you consider
absolutely.
yourself a coach?
I don't consider myself a coach. I'm more of a someone who just wants to
Yeah,
share
but you have some
information. I
workshops
think
coming up, and you have some online courses for
I
sale, right?
do. I do eventually. I would like to get into coaching in the future. Um, More of mentoring. I do have a voiceover workshop coming up in a couple of weeks that I'm launching on
Oh,
my
great.
website, which will be courses and one-on-one time with me. If you have a specific question and you're one of those people that likes to work with someone one-on-one
Hmm.
versus just watching videos, so you can ask questions on the spot. I'm going to be
That's at
offering that
voiceover
for
Angela,
anyone interested. Ye-
voiceoverangela.com, right?
yes, sir.
And you say you already
voiceoverangela.com.
have some courses over there too?
I do. They are not available yet. I'm still doing some final tweaks, but I have a meditation course for people who want to get into creating
Oh,
meditations because I create a lot of them. It's a very popular niche right now in this industry.
well, I could do that
And
right
also
now,
there's this
Angela. Look, watch me. See? Pretty good, huh? See?
excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Aside from the meditation course, there'll be a success mindset course. There's an Upwork basics course, and I'm also working on a Fiverr
See,
basics course.
Upwork folks
So those will
used to
be
be,
available.
for those oldsters like me, Elance. It used to be Elance, and now it's Upwork.
Mhm.
Um, so the
Yeah.
meditation, are you talking words, or are you just humming, or what are you doing?
Meditations, I narrate guided meditations. I mix them with music and sound effects and that sort of thing. I also narrate affirmations. I have a lot of clients that want personalized affirmations to listen to in the
Oh,
morning, the afternoon, that sort of thing. And there's
I thought
also
they were supposed to
sleep
do their
stories.
own affirmations, like I'm skinny, and
Well, I do, believe it or not.
so you have to say it for
There
them.
are well, yes, because they want to listen to it, when they wake up before they go to bed or while they're sleeping. I have some clients that have created,
Subliminal, like, kind of.
positive, like my company is going to
Mhm.
make X amount of dollars this year, that sort of thing, over and over, kind of like echoey and, ethereal to music. And then they listen to that while they
Well, I
sleep
want you to make me one,
and they
I'm
say it
skinny.
helps.
Just say it over and over again so I can listen to it while I'm eating pizza.
I am
I am
skinny.
skinny.
I am skinny.
That's too sexy. I wouldn't say it like that. I mean, you can't. I'd say it like, "You're not skinny. What's wrong with you? Who you trying to kid?" That's what I would say to myself.
Hey, I do it any
That's
which way
right.
you
You
wanna
get
do.
paid to do this, right? So,
Yeah.
so what's the best and worst part about this job or this profession? I guess.
The best part is doing something creative, you know, um, helping my clients, fulfill their needs. I mean, it's not only just the commercials, the video games, and e-learning, all the other things that I do, but I mean, namely the meditations. I'm helping people heal with my voice, and I think that is one of the most rewarding things. Um, as far as cons, there aren't really a lot. I think there's a lot of training in the beginning, to learn the technical side. but there aren't really any cons to running your own business other than, you have to be 50 places at once. But,
And motorcycles going by your
it's all and motorcycles going by, yeah, and today I have landscapers outside making noise, of course. I'm hoping you
No,
can't hear
no,
it, but
every time I saw one of your videos and you'd stop and you'd have that cute little look on your face, like, I hear something, but we couldn't hear it. Um, uh,
well,
yeah,
that's
right.
good.
But that's got to disrupt your work, though, right?
It does, being so close to my front door here in my studio, I hear, like, the air conditioner outside, so in the summertime
Oh,
in Arizona, I have to stop a lot. So I'll record when the air conditioner's off, and then when the air conditioner's on, then
I
I'll
thought
do
they
the
run
editing.
24/7 in Arizona.
In
Yeah,
the summer, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So what's is there any of the books that you've done that just really stand out that you're the most proud of?
Oh my gosh. There was one that I narrated recently called Protecting Troy. It was written by the grandparents of a little boy who's had some tough times, who was abused and neglected. And that one was difficult to narrate. But
Because you were getting into the
I
story,
wanted
right?
to because yeah, and I wanted to help get this story out because this couple had written the book about their struggles, obtaining custody of their grandson. And I wanted to help get their story out, but it was definitely
Wow.
hard to get
Wow, good
through,
for you.
but I'm very
Good for
proud of
you.
it.
And you said, I think you started at a place, what was it called? LibriVox? Is that? Yeah, tell them
LibriVox.
about that.
Yeah. LibriVox is, a website where you can donate your time. You can donate your
You
narration
have to be
skills
a good
and read
narrator
either
to do it,
sections.
or they'll take anybody.
Um, if I remember correctly, I don't think there was any kind of you didn't have to submit a demo to see if they liked your voice. It was kind of open to everyone. If you were willing to donate your time and if you had the gear, you had, the microphone and the ability to record, they would allow you to. And you could record sections of a book or
But
entire
were
audiobooks.
the specifications as exact as they are for ACX, the RMS stuff?
Pretty
Yeah,
darn
so
close.
you can't
Pretty
just
darn close.
slop
Yeah.
it in there and expect it to work. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And that is exactly how I learned how to edit and format was by working with LibriVox.
Yeah, and you probably did some good. I think I heard you mention some older people like to just listen, have uh, not much to do, and that gives them a chance to listen to things.
Yeah.
Is it free for people to listen to the?
It
Yeah,
is free. Yeah, they're books in the
good.
public
Okay,
domain.
so
So they
a
are
lot of
free.
people that couldn't
Mhm.
afford purchasing books can listen to stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Well, aren't you great? See, you are an angel. See? How long did you do that?
Not very long, just a
Yeah.
few months, I
So
think, and then I decided to sign up
yeah.
with
Okay.
ACX.
Beautiful. So come on now, Angela. Give us this. Now, do you use the same voice all the time, or do you have to do different voices?
Most most of the time, I will use just my normal speaking voice. I do a lot of, aside from audiobooks, I do a lot of e-learning, like corporate
Mm-hmm.
training, online, like, tutorials and stuff, so it's just mostly conversational,
All
just
right.
my normal
Give us a
voice.
little sample of your sexy e-learning voice.
A
Isn't
sexy
that what it?
e-learning
Yeah,
voice?
it's what it is. Yeah, because nobody will
I don't know
listen.
what kinda
No,
e-learning you're
nobody will
watching, but,
listen if it doesn't sound sexy. You know, imagine talking about corporate, spreadsheets. So
welcome to your online
there you
training.
go. That sounded like a voice.
I
That
don't know if
sounded
that
like
was
a
sexy, but
voiceover person right there. That's amazing. So we got to take a brief sponsor break. And we come back, we're going to ask Angela what a typical day looks like for her when she's dodging motorcycles and landscapers and how she stays motivated. So, folks, about over 22 years ago, I kind of turned the internet marketing guru world on its head in that people at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand up front to teach what they knew. And I knew a lot of these people. You give them 50 grand up front, you'd be chasing them around Mexico trying to find them because they wouldn't they wouldn't help you. So I kind of made them all mad by flipping this on its head. In my mentor program, you pay an entry fee, but for me to get my 50,000, you have to make 200,000 net. And so people love this, and 1,700 students later and 20 some years, it's still going strong because my success is tied to your success. And so, I'm not going to disappear on you because I want my 50,000. How about that? And it's the most unique, longest running program ever. It's unique in the fact that it's all one-on-one. Nobody at my level will even talk to you, let alone teach you anything. And you have one-on-one access to me and my entire staff, one-on-one, where we'll even take over your screen and teach you what to do, what not to do for a year. Then you have an immersion trip to the Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center here in Virginia Beach, which is my big estate home. And we have a TV studio here. We shoot videos for you, marketing videos. And also, when you're in my mentor program, you get a scholarship to my school that you can either use yourself or gift to someone else. So we had one guy who spent $80,000 on his daughter's crappy education. She's working a crappy job, and he gifted the school to her. After 1 month, she was up to $1,100 a month on the side. After 2 months, she was up to $3,000. I talked to her about a month ago. After 4 months in the school, she's up to $6,000 a month, and threw away her crappy job, and now she's doing this and hasn't even graduated yet. So these are really skills that are in high demand in the marketplace. So anyway, check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. There's no high pressure sales around here, but we have lots and lots of people that love our program, and we'd love to help you out in the future. All right, let's get back to the main event. We've got the angel of voiceover here, voiceover Angela, and she has been 60 books. Oh my goodness. What's the average length of the books, Angela?
I would say most of the books that I narrate are between about 30,000 words and about 80,000
How many
words.
pages does that equal?
My pay
how many
rate is
pages? I
200
said how many pages?
pages. Oh, excuse me. Pages, that is about, I would say, 200 to maybe 300 or 400 pages. It all depends on also the
Are
font.
you actually
Some of
looking
them
at the book, or is you got a printout?
I'm actually looking at usually a PDF or a doc file,
On a
like a
tablet or
Windows doc
something?
file. I don't have like a
All right,
physical book.
so you don't have papers. It's on a tablet or something? Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's a typical day look like for you? When you get up, do you exercise? Do you eat? You got to be careful what you eat in this business too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't want any kind of gas problems or, the sticky
Yeah.
mouth thing, which I am plagued with. But I get up at about 7 o'clock. I make sure my son's up and ready for school and get him fed. And then I'm usually down in the studio by about, 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, check all the emails, check any new orders, any new contacts. And then I sit and, read them out, do my editing, take a break for lunch, hang out with my son a little bit and go right back to work.
Okay. He's home because of COVID stuff. Yeah.
COVID. Yeah. He's learning
How's that
online.
going?
It's rough.
Yeah. Everything I
It's
see on
it's
the
rough for him.
news, it's.
Yeah. He does so much better, with
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one learning, but it's been tough, but we're getting it
Well,
done together.
that's good. So
Yeah.
it just amazes me you got the discipline to sit there and read and keep it consistent. And oh man, but you said you didn't have any formal training, right?
I did have a coach for about a year, uh, but most of it came from, just reading
Mm-hmm.
on my own. Um, I took I took a lot of like English literature classes. So I don't know, I just really enjoy reading books. It's really it you learn more by doing. You learn to control your breaths and learn where to add the inflection and, um, maybe a different character voice. I mean, it all kind of comes with just doing it.
Okay, so you good at characters?
Uh, I can be. I guess it all depends on how many there are. But oh my gosh, I just narrated a book that had like
Oh,
30
gee.
characters, and it's difficult. And some authors don't want you to do a different voice for different characters, and some do. And this last book, there were about 30 different characters with accents, and so that one was a little
You
rough,
charge
but
more for that?
you get used to it.
Can you charge
I'm
more
sorry?
for that?
No, it's all the
All right.
same.
So pretend that you're me, and how would you do me?
I don't I don't know if I could do you.
That was perfect. You could do me anytime. All right.
That's kind of like my
Yeah.
male
Do you
voice.
ever have to do male voices?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. Yeah, because a lot of the books are I mean, I do a lot of self-help books and that sort of thing where there aren't any
Mm-hmm.
people per se, but, a lot of the ones that I do, for the female voices, I'll give it maybe just a little bit of a lighter inflection or maybe just a different cadence, but, male voices are usually a little bit more gruff and, pert.
it's, it's so funny seeing that voice coming out of your face. Oh man. So how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated in your own business now? You're responsible for your own income, paycheck, the whole bit.
Yeah, because you really have to have passion for it, I think, to stay motivated. It's really not that difficult. I really, really, really enjoy what I do. I enjoy what I do, how I do it, the people that I help when I do it. So that's all motivation. Not only that, but I'm providing for myself and my family. So that is all
Mm-hmm.
motivation.
And but you are a self-described introvert, right?
I am.
Which amazed me because you got a YouTube channel and your voice is being heard by hundreds of thousands or millions of people around the world.
I try not to think
You're
about that
Siri,
part.
aren't you? You're Siri.
I hear that a lot. I have a lot of people tell me, "You sound like a robot." Is it that I sound like a robot, or is it sound like I'm similar
Siri,
to Siri?
they
'Cause
outed
I do
Siri a couple of years ago. They found out who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that video.
So tell them how to get a hold of you if they are interested in to take your workshop or if they want one-on-one coaching or advice. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, my website is,
Hmm.
voiceoverangela.com. My YouTube channel is voiceover Angela.
Very creative.
I pretty much kept everything the same, like my Fiverr username is
Uh-huh.
voiceover Angela. I'm voiceover Angela anywhere. I'm
Yeah,
very
there
easy
you
to
go.
find. Yeah, most of my socials are voiceover Angela, aside from Twitter, which is Angela O_VO. But yeah, voiceover Angela is the best way to reach out to me. You can contact me via email there. There's a chat. There's yeah,
So
that's
you're
the best way
basically
to reach me.
saying just about anybody could do this if they really wanted to, because there's
Absolutely.
a
I
demand
think
out there that none of us realized, and whatever your voice is, if somebody likes that voice, that's you get the job.
absolutely voice actors represent the every person in the world. There's every kind of different voice, every age group, every accent, everything, every voice is needed
Yeah, you
because
know
we
any kids
represent
that do
the
this?
world. Not
But they
personally, but
exist,
I know
right?
that
Yeah.
there are kids. Yeah, I've heard of kids reading or narrating kids' books, and of course, there's kids in
Hmm.
commercials. There's a lot of voice actors that can reach that range, and
I see.
adults that can make a child's voice, but there are children also that voice act.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thanks so much for taking the
Yeah,
time to enlighten us on this. It's
thanks
yeah,
for
it's
having me.
no, it's as soon as I saw you, like I ate up all your videos, and I thought this is a
No,
beautiful story that you just decided to do this and you did it, and nothing stops you with
yeah,
the noise, and the all the stuff that the noises that
nope,
yeah, I
can't
mean
stop
that
me.
was the whole
Mm-mm.
thing. It's supposed to be a quiet thing, and you in one of those
Yeah,
episodes you had a motorcycle driving back and forth. Yeah,
all the time, almost
yeah.
every day.
So, so anyway, thanks so much, Angela. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was
my
real
pleasure.
fun.
So everybody, we will catch y'all in the next episode. See you later.